What happened to the era of great movie soundtracks? I tell you, they're dead. What I know? I'm J Hard, writer, culture critic, and Starburst ain't nothing but sugar wax. Look, movie soundtracks, we used to actually love them. Some movie soundtracks were actually better than the movie themselves, but you name me the last movie soundtrack that you can think of. Go ahead, hold your breath. No, don't hold your breath because I'm not paying for nobody's funeral or hospital bills. Look, movie soundtracks used to actually give us something, especially when the song and the scene would actually meet. It would create a classic moment that we will always remember into the day we go. Look, I'll give you a few off the top of my head. Above the Rim soundtrack. Now, I had a homeboy off top. He hates this soundtrack to this day because he felt like there was nothing but West Coast artists rapping on their soundtrack for a movie that was based in New York. And yes, Death Row did produce the Above the Rim soundtrack. And yes, there was some static by the end. But look, the Above the Rim soundtrack is classic and it's golden. And you need to go listen to it. You had Dog Pound. You had H-Town on there. You had Snoop Dogg. You had SWV who gave us anything. Warren G and Nate Dogg gave us Regulators, okay? And look, there's a lot of scenes in that movie that I love when it comes to Above the Rim. I mean, Leon playing ball in his Long Johns is crazy. But the part where the song actually met the scene is the opening credits when you hear, I couldn't help but notice your pain. My pain, it runs deep. Share it with me. And you hear that piano and Tupac Pain come on and the Above the Rim credits are starting to roll. Bro, I'm trying to tell you, that is what makes some actual moment. The next soundtrack I got to give you is the Nutty Professor soundtrack. You had Jay-Z, Mary J. Blige, you had Case, you had As Yet. But the standout of that soundtrack is a young Foxy Brown who was only about 17 or 18 years old. She's on Touch Me, Tease Me with Mary J. Blige and Case. She's also on Ain't No Nigga. Look, when I was 17, 18 years old, I was falling asleep taking my ACT. So don't listen to me, kids. This woman was actually becoming a bona fide star. Her album wasn't even out yet, and we all remember her. Now, the third one I'm about to give you, you already know what I'm about to say. It's the most classic movie soundtrack of all time. One of the greatest movie albums of all times, and that is Love Jones soundtrack, okay? You had Deion Ferris who gave us Hopeless. Every time you hear that, doom, 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 doom. You had Groove Theory, you had Escape, you had Brand New Heavies, you had Maxwell who gave us that slower version of Something Something during the love scene with Nia Long, baby. I'm trying to tell you, the Love Jones soundtrack and the movie itself is classic, but what actually makes the scene and the actual track that we can actually refer to when you listen to the soundtrack, for me off top, is the Lorenz Tate poem that's on there. They actually put it at the beginning of the soundtrack. The Brother to the Night poem, when he says, quote, F your man, I ain't worried about him, unquote. Look, that is the Dirty Mac Award, okay? So you tell me, what's a great movie soundtrack? What's a classic moment? What's the classic song and the scene that actually met, that created to make it legendary?